In the last episode, we trailered our boat from North Wales, where we bought her, down to our home in Dorset. This was how she was on the day we bought her. The previous owner had named her Serenity. We decided to remove the name stickers, as well as some other decals that were inside the boat and on the window. The very first thing that we did when we bought the boat was insure it. We also got a wheel clamp and a tow hitch lock. Although it's on a driveway at the moment, the plan is to keep it at a secure boatyard for the winter season. So I shall give you a quick tour of the boat, but before I do that, I shall take off the covers. This boat is an Orkney Strikeliner 16 Plus, made by Orkney Boats of Arundel in England. Strikeliners were built between 1984 and 1996, and this particular model, hull number 851, was built in 1990. The maximum rated horsepower for this boat is 25, which gives a theoretical top speed of 22 knots. This Honda 4-stroke engine comes with remote throttle and power tilt and trim. And there's a 25 litre fuel tank between the rear seats. This boat has remote steering with a steering wheel and a dashboard. As you can see, I completely removed the glass reinforced plastic console so that I could clean and polish it and tidy up the electrics inside it. I fitted a brand new manual bilge pump as the rubber on the old one had completely perished. I will also be drilling a hole so that the bilge pipe can exit through the hull. There's lots of seating, both in the open and in the cuddy. There are also lots of convenient storage areas and cupboards. The anchor can be stored in the front locker, or there is an anchor well in the bow of the boat. The anchor well is accessed through a hatch at the front of the cuddy. A stainless steel frame on top of the cuddy will be home to the lights and the aerials. This boat came with 6 fishing rod holders, a number of fenders and buoys, a boarding ladder, several ropes and lines, and an auxiliary outboard bracket. Some items need repairing or replacing, but on the whole, the boat is in good condition. I do want to make some improvements to the boat. I shall most likely replace the window frame rubber seals. I will paint over areas like this, and I'm going to add new LED lights and a VHF radio and aerial. Some rubber components have perished over time, and some of the gel coat will need some attention. I polished the cuddy windows and gave the whole boat a good clean inside and out. The next thing to do is polish the gel coat on the hull with a cutting compound. I'm using an orange pad. It simply velcros onto the back of the disc on the DeWalt, and then all you do is apply a bead of cutting compound in a cross shape. and then just smear it onto the surface first, otherwise the compound will fly everywhere when you first turn the machine on. So then it's like that, and then you can start the machine. I've got it set at 800, which is quite a slow revolutions per minute. Keep applying more cutting compound. As you go. Gel coat gets dull over time due to salt and oxidization. Cutting and waxing helps give the gel coat its shine back. Once we finish using the heavy cutting compound, we're going to swap over to a yellow pad which is a bit softer and use a 3M light cutting polish and wax. So finally we change over to a lambswool pad, and with this we can buff up the hull to a really beautiful shine. Over the years, a load of green gunge had accumulated underneath the fender that goes around the boat. To gain access, I had to remove the rubber fender, and then I could give it a good clean. Taking off the fender is very simple, as all you do is undo the screws. Getting the fender back on, however, is another story. We had to soak the rubber fender in boiling water, just as they had done in the Orkney factory when the boat was built. Once heated up, it is possible to stretch the fender far enough to match up with the existing screw holes. To begin with, I tried to stretch the fender by hand, whilst my father-in-law attempted to screw the screws in. But it proved to be impossible to stretch it far enough with muscle power alone. The solution we came up with was to use the ratchet strap that had been used to tie the boat down to the trailer. We attached one end of the strap to the metal fitting at the transom end of the fender, and the other end of the strap to a tow rope which we had wrapped around a gatepost. I removed the Orkney Strikeliner decals, ready to apply the new ones, using a rubber eraser wheel and some sticky stuff remover. This leaves the gel coat nice and clean and ready to be polished in the same way that I polished the hull. I cleaned the green stuff off the cockpit cover and added a new nameplate to the trailer. This will be needed when the boat is stored at the boatyard